Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and make sure you turn on notifications by clicking on that bell icon. So after a year in office, Trump outperforms Obama in every economic measurement. President Trump has now been in office for a year and a quarter. The result of his administration, when compared to those of President Obama at the same time, are stunning. In every economic measure, President Trump far outperforms President Obama. The mainstream media, or MSM, and the Democrat Party continue to smear the current president with the fake Russia collusion narrative. In doing so, they also continue to not share the truth about President Trump's many accomplishments. When compared to Obama, and really any president, President Trump's efforts to shore up the economy are outstanding. President Trump's economy is just plain on fire. Now, when it comes to the U.S. stock markets, in President Trump's first year and a quarter since the election and since his inauguration, the U.S. stock markets reached record highs, and millions of Americans are benefiting in their retirement savings accounts. Now, since President Trump's election, the Dow daily closing stock market average has risen as much as 44%. On November 9th, the Dow closed at 18,332, and in January, the Dow reached heights of over 26,500. Now, on February 28, 2017, President Trump matched President Reagan's 1987 record for the most continuous closing high trading days when the Dow reached a new high for its 12th day in a row. Under President Trump, the Dow set the record for the fastest 500-point increase between major milestones when it reached 26,000 on January 17. Now, it only took 6 days to increase 500 points from 25,000 to 500. As a matter of fact, since President Trump's election, the Dow has set records for the fastest 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, and 7,000 point increases in the Dow's history. Now, 2017 was the best year ever for the Dow. It increased more points than ever in its history, 4,956, and it reached more all-time highs, 71, than any other year in history. So how does this compare with President Obama? Well, under Obama, the Dow never reached a new all-time high in his entire first term, let alone his first year and a quarter. Now, the U.S. debt, as of May 1st, 2018, President Trump has increased the U.S. debt since his inauguration by $1.1 trillion, or 5.5%. On the other hand, President Obama, in his first year and a quarter, increased the national debt by twice as much, or $2.3 trillion, or 21.8%. Now, Obama increased the U.S. debt in his first year and a quarter by $1.2 trillion, more than President Trump, or by more than twice as much. And to be fair, President Trump's debt is at interest rates more than 1% higher than Obama, and President Trump started with $10 trillion more in debt than Obama. Now, the higher rates in debt cause higher interest rate payments for President Trump's administration to endure. Now, as far as jobs goes, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, President Trump has added nearly 3 million jobs since January of 2017. Roughly 2.79 million jobs has been added. Now, President Obama, on the other hand, lost nearly 5 million jobs in his first year and a quarter in office, roughly 4.9 million. Now, that's a difference of almost 8 million jobs. Now, President Obama was so bad at creating jobs that by the end of his second term, he said that jobs were not coming back. Now, when we talk about unemployment, also according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, President Trump decreased unemployment to its current level of 4.1%. Now, the unemployment rate in January of 2017 was at 4.8%, and it has reached a low of 4.1% for the last 6 months in a row. Now, President Obama, on the other hand, again moved in the opposite direction. In his first year and a quarter as president, the U.S. unemployment rate increased from 7.8% in January 2009 to 9.9% as much as of March 2010. Now, the unemployment rate during this time reached as high as 10%, some of the worst unemployment rates in U.S. history, and the highest since the early 1980s after the Jimmy Carter years. Now, decreases in regulations. Now, one of the first things that President Trump did in office was to reduce the number of burdensome regulations put in place during the Obama era. In January, President Trump signed his 2-for-1 executive order mandating that for every new regulation, 2 regulations needed to be revoked. Even far-left Politico noted that significant federal regulations since Trump's inaugurations have slowed to an almost total halt. Regulations cost Americans and American companies money to implement and maintain. Reducing or halting regulations allows companies to spend their money on more prudent money-making areas. Now, in summary, overall, based on the data that I just read to you, it is clear that President Trump is doing a solid, if not excellent, job. Now, the mainstream liberal media won't report this, but when looking at the economy, President Trump, the businessman, crushes the former community organizer Barack Obama in every meaningful measurement. So be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's make America great again. Peace.